Wait it. Shut the door. Sorry.
Do you have anything for this episode?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
I'm always prepared.
Great. Patreon,
Hi,
hello.
Patreon.
Big shout out to Emily Pierce and Megan Youngblood for asking us to watch Schitt's Creek. We put it off for a while, but here we are.
Yeah, but was on there for a long while. But don't hesitate, anybody. We have a lot of shows from way back, and we're going back and pulling some out.
Don't everyone. Don't
Is that what I said?
I said don't hesitate. It's okay. It's gay.
That's for sure.
Hes is gay for hesitate. Don't
Okay.
hes. I just made it
I'm
up.
not gay, so I didn't know to use the word.
Do you have tea, or do you want me to start with mine?
Well, what I wanted to say is the background of the show, it started in 2015, and it started on CBC Canada because it's filmed in Toronto, in the Toronto area.
And they're Canadian.
And it took a long time for it to be sold to a company in the United States because, they pitched it. And finally, I think it's called Pod TV.
Pop
picked
TV.
it up. Pop TV picked it up in the United States. It has 6 seasons. It reached Netflix in 2016. It was nominated for 4 Emmys, and they're actually the dad and the son and the waitress are actually related
in real live life.
And then I read it was inspired by a curiosity about the lives of the unwealthy by the name a gentleman by the name of Kim Basinger. He bought a small town in Georgia in the late 1980s, and he created Schitt's Creek with his father because of living in this small
real
town.
place.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
He bought a real place in Georgia, and that's how he and his father created the show and start writing on it. So
we should go.
Yeah.
We should go to Schitt's Creek. I have a little tea.
Come to your house.
Oh, that was not a nice thing. My house seems to be riddled in crime lately.
Your house?
Yes, there's so much crime around my house lately. It's like petty crime too. We're just like, can we just like get it together, please?
What are they taking? Amazon boxes and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of porch pirates, gaffs, thieves, just straight up methed out crazy drug addicts all over the place. I'm like, wow. This is no place to raise a family. And the thing is like we watched this happen in a small period of time. Like when we first moved to the area that we're in, it like was great.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, I'm like, what's happening? You go to the grocery store over by us now. We go out of our way to go to a different grocery store because the grocery store we go to now is just people stealing shit left and right. Just like people yelling, crazy people. There's like a huge mental health crisis in the city, and it's like obviously not being addressed, which is so funny because so many people in this city have such big mouths. It's like, do something about it. Right. Do something about it.
It's so sad. You could see it all over. How long have you been there? Only 2 to 3 years?
No, this is going to be my 4th year.
In that neighborhood?
No, 3 in this neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that really changed quickly.
Very quickly. And it's sad.
Yeah.
Because Seattle could be such a great city, but I'm not trying to stay.
So you're looking for a new house anyway, right?
Oh my God, house hunting is crazy. Maybe I will just buy a house in Schitt's Creek. I'll buy the Rose Motel and the Rose Apothecary.
Buy something like it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. The more we look at it, the more I'm like, I could live my suburban bitch fantasy now, I feel like.
Yeah, the puppy needs a backyard with a fence and.
Yeah, the puppy, it's like,
so much easier.
Whatever, I'm not going to make these decisions for my dog, but like when I sit and think about it, I'm like, I'm not trying to start a family and have my kids ride their bike for the first time over used needles. You know what I mean? Like, totally. No.
I think your fans would agree.
Right. I don't have to be like worried about that type of shit. I'm just kind of like, this is bullshit. This city is just like, mismanaged. I can go on forever. I'm sorry, everybody. I do not need to bore you with this, but we're trying to get a house in a nicer area because this is just bibbity-bobbity bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit.
So the other thing, Eugene Levy, who plays the dad, was a writer for 3 seasons.
Of
And after 3 seasons, he decided he didn't want to be sitting around a writer's table for 12 hours a day, and he passed it on to his son, Daniel, in the show.
That's
And
funny.
Daniel was really ready for it and took it on, and it was really good. It also said that Schitt's Creek was a beacon for the LGBT community
Mm-hmm.
viewers, and thanks to its casual, progressive depiction of a homophobic community and the love story between Daniel Levy, and his business partner that turned into his fiance.
Who you need to keep watching this season. It's actually it's even, but there is a lot of articles about that too. But as I was watching the later seasons as they were coming out in real time, it was like really cool to watch. And I think they kind of like said something about this when I saw Schitt's Creek live. It was very important for them to like create a world where there was like no issue.
Right.
Because you often, when you have an LGBT character, you focus on their struggle on TV. Like whenever you see like LGBT characters, there's like the storyline of their struggling. And they wanted to create characters who like just like fit in, and there was no struggle, and it was all about like their general happiness and like life together. And like at no point in the show is their relationship like weird or looked at funny or like different. It just is a natural flow into the world that they've created. And I think that that's really important, especially for like young queer people to look at, to realize there's like hope, and there's like you can live a regular life.
That's what Daniel Levy was saying, that his contribution would be to depict relationships in a very positive way, because many are very positive.
Mm-hmm.
And that he believed was so important as that show started to wind down.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, it is good. It is great. So it's funny show. The show reminded me of a sitcom when I was a kid called Green Acres. It was on from 1965 to 1971, and it always did remind me of that show from the very beginning. It was about a New York couple, very rich, who decided to move to a country farm. They bought a farm, and he was a banker and she was an interior decorator. It was Eddie Albert and Ava Gabor, and it had the same kind of theme.
Really?
The wealthy coming to the small town with cows and all this kind of stuff. And she was always dressed up and,
was it a comedy?
Awkward. It was a comedy.
Interesting.
Would come on once a week. And yeah, that was back in the early days, and it reminded me of that.
Funny story about Dan Levy. So, did you ever watch the holiday movie called The Happiest Season? It came out like 2 Christmases ago. It was either on Netflix or Hulu. It had like Kristen Stewart was the lead in it. And a lot of big names. It was basically like a family Christmas movie, and there was like a gay best friend. But I was actually asked to audition for this movie, and I did submit for this movie. And I remember thinking like, this part is like very David Rose. Like the way that it was written was so David Rose from Schitt's Creek. And when I auditioned, like that was kind of a little bit of the inspiration that I drew upon too. Well, when the cast comes out, who did they cast? Dan Levy, the David Rose. I was like, why did you even ask other people to audition for this? Like, you knew exactly what you wanted and you got it. I guess you never know if they're available or if they can do it, or if you can come up with a negotiation that they'll take. Yeah,
creating the character. But I think one of the things, like in Hollywood, like in any business, you can't discriminate. You've got to be able to give other people a chance. And they probably have their person picked, but they put people through the paces as if they'd have a chance.
Yeah, and I think a lot about it is the negotiations too, because when celebrities get that big, they don't just like take things because it's offered to them. They get like multiple offers, and then like they might just pick a movie because like it's got the biggest payout maybe, or maybe one doesn't like speak to them. So they probably didn't know. They probably always knew they wanted ideally to get Dan, but if they couldn't, it was all going to be okay.
Yeah, very much so. And it never is a waste of time.
Never is a waste of time.
So great show.
I loved it.
If people have not watched it, please do. It's It's
Watch it
hilarious.
all on Netflix, everybody. So you're gonna
Yep.
watch it again?
I will. I will. And
Me
they
too.
they filmed their last season. It was already,
Emotional,
past
emotional,
season 6.
emotional.
It was very emotional. They said it was emotional when they were reading. They knew it was the last
The
day.
table read.
And yeah, Daniel Levy was texting Murphy, the girl who plays his sister, and he's in a grocery store going, "Are you okay? Because I'm not okay," knowing they were going to head into their last table read and their last shoot. So it
The
was
other
very
thing that I love
emotional for
about the
them.
show
Huh.
is they've made a very conscious choice to end the show when they were on top, because
Right,
they were like, this show is not going to go under because it's bad.
right.
We're going to end when we are so high because it will always be great. They
Well,
people
that's what Ray Romano did with Everybody Loves
Oh,
Raymond.
did
And
he?
oh yeah, that show was high on the rank and going full steam. And he decided, let's go out on the thing. And the same with Seinfeld was the same way. You
I didn't
know,
know that about those
still
shows.
high ratings, people still watching it. There's no reason why they should have quit it, but they decided same reason.
Didn't even
Go
know.
out while you're on top.
I totally agree with it. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep watching. I'm actually gonna go back and watch the season again. I'm actually rewatching 30 Rock right now. If you've ever watched that,
I watched a few of those. They were funny.
yeah. And
Different.
when I'm done, I will go and watch Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything about your shows or anything like that coming
Get
up? You have a
your
lot coming
tickets
up.
if you haven't already. MrD3.com. That's a good
Yeah.
jingle.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about coming to one of your shows.
Which one?
I don't know. You have a show on my birthday, and I thought,
I do.
maybe I'll take a ride, but maybe not. I
Maybe
don't know.
I'll take a ride.
I don't know. We'll see.
Cool. All right.
But
Well, we love you guys so much, and we'll see you next time on
let's
Let's
watch
Watch
TV,
TV.
everybody. Bye, people.
Bye.